Hello and welcome to another episode of How to Pixelmon, your instructional Pixelmon guide. Today, we are going to be going over one of the newer additions to Pixelmon, Hitmontop. Now this was largely requested by my friend Too Shady, and I figured it's a good Pokemon to do because I'm pretty sure I did Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee a long time ago, so it only makes sense to do the new addition to it now. Now, there's also one more evolution that's not in the group, Tyrogue, and if you do have him, you can actually get Fake Out as a move on any of the Pokemon. But currently in Pixelmon you cannot, but do realize if you're watching this in the future and he's out, that is a possibility. But first, we're going to look at some of the Hitmontop builds we can go with. By the way, if you see all this, it's me redstoning and trying to set up methods for my vending machine I have on the Poké Legends SMP. Check that out if you haven't already. And we're going to look at Hitmontop here. So we got a nice, big, lovely Hitmontop. Now I must say, I didn't know what the shiny looks like, and it's just great. Just a little pink one. If it decides to come out anytime soon, that's fine. There we go. It's just complete pink fighter. It's perfect. Now we're going to look at the Mews. Now as you can see, just looking at the hold items here, it's pretty obvious what directions we're going on our two options here. We have a tanky one with the leftovers and an offensive one with the life orb. The easier one to do is the tankier one. I might not say that's the best. Now when you look at Hitmontop, he has for stats, he has really good special defense and defense. On this it's like nearly the highest stats, or at least the special defense certainly is. Then he has moderate speed, kind of bad health, and decent attack. Now if you're going to build him tanky, you're going to want to definitely give him as much health as you can through EV training, do everything you can on that, and then probably put the rest, mix it up into defense and special defense, even it out if you will, because the two weaknesses for fighting type are psychic and flying. Those are generally both special and physical moves, so it's not really like you can potentially divert the right amount of damage properly. But either way, still relatively tanky Pokemon. It definitely falls in that category of middle ground Pokemon that don't have a defined role, so you can kind of do what you want with them, but they'll never be like the best at anything. But still has its definitely some potential. Now, a big thing I think people do like professionally with Hitmontops is Rapid Spin, which really makes sense on a Hitmontop because it's always spinning around either way. Now, Rapid Spin will take off the Toxic Spikes, Leech Seed, pretty much all the stuff it lists there in the description. So it's good to have him to get those hazards out of the way. You won't have to worry about that anymore. And, you know, it's a really good setup to have. On this guy we also have the move Detect and Toxic. Now the downside to having a tanky Hitmontop, he doesn't really learn any healing moves. You could teach him Rest, but I don't think he's that tanky that he'll be able to do Rest and be very successful. You need to end up getting really lucky with that. But you can still probably survive long enough to get Toxic, Detect to stall it out, and then hit him hard with a close combat and Detect one more time before you die. Not a terrible setup. What you could also do is switch close combat for one of the various TMs he can learn to try to get more of a defined role, because they might switch into, say, a flying type and he can learn Stone Edge. So he can fire back with that, your opponents won't know what hit him, and it'll be a very good setup. Personally, the setup I prefer is the attacking Hitmontop, mainly because it's based on priority moves, and you know I like my priority moves. So we're going to look at the things. Also, let me just real quick look at the abilities here. Now, the two abilities on Hitmontop, once again, lend themselves to the defensive and the physical thing. We got Intimidate to lower the opposing Pokemon's attack stat. If you're using Hitmontop, I'm assuming you'll switch out into him, so you can use that Rapid Spin, so this will definitely come in handy to let you take less damage. And on the offensive Hitmontop, the ability is Technician. Now what this does, if a move is 60 power or less, it'll actually increase its damage by an extra 50%. So this is really good with the priority moves, because like say Bullet Punch, it does 40 damage. With Technician, it does 60. So it really does help that kind of stuff out. And if you do anything else, any items to boost that, that'll be on top of that, and it'll be a really nice setup. Looking at the moves we have on him now, we have Close Combat. That's the strongest move he learns. We're thinking about Agility, because Agility can be good, especially on this Pokemon. Very moderate speed. I probably would not train Hitmontop in speed, just because he's around that 70. He's like just below average, so I don't think I'd really use Agility, but I need these two things here because the only way you can get yourself the priority moves is if you breed. Now the moves you're looking for are Mach Punch and Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch, obviously a steel, have a little bit of versatility, and Mach Punch, you're going to have the stab bonus plus the technician bonus, plus you could potentially put a black belt on it because you have both close combat and Mach Punch, and that would be a really good setup. Or you could just do a life orb and get that bonus onto it. So that'll give you a priority move on a pretty tanky Pokemon with really good bonuses towards that priority move. I think that's a really good setup to have. The way you do that is you want to breed him with a Hitmonchan, which we have right here. We just grabbed one because Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, you just want to breed those with that. Any Hitmonchan at level 36 can learn all the punches. You just pick them and have a great time. Now Stone Edge I like to have on Hitmontop just because once again they have the weakness to flying, so if you can drop a flying Pokemon before they can take you, it'll just be hilarious. But other than that, I think that's just about all we have to say. We'll just look at a couple of the other TMs they can learn here. Aerial Ace, not really preferable because flying, well, it does 60 damage actually, so that Technician will boost it to 90, so it'll be a solid flying move. People won't expect that. We also got Thief. It's a low damage dark move, but it'll help take out Psychics if you want to. Once again, getting the Technician bonus. And then we have Earthquake and Stone Edge, and I'm pretty sure you know all about them and how much damage they can do. But that is Hitmontop. If you have enjoyed this episode, hopefully you did, leave a like down below. Let me know what Pokemon you want to see next. I definitely want to get back in the swing of getting these out, like at least one a week. Hopefully you guys will appreciate that, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.